It's snowing. This is one day after we did all the raking and the mowing. And because of this weather, it means we need to go to
Botanic Garden.
It's so pretty. The van's not pretty, but the snow's pretty.
Yep.
So, look, I look non-existent.
So this is a Sapodilla. It is an edible fruit, tropical. It is very delicious, tastes like brown sugar, and it's, I don't know, maybe, I guess like the size of 2 baseballs. And there's a guava. I don't know what kind of guava, but it's a guava.
And that's the fern we're going to plant in the new garden area?
At least a variety of it. It looks similar to the one we're getting. So it's a maidenhair fern, walking fern specifically, and yeah, it's got like a hand shape to it. Philodendron. So this is a Hartley Philodendron. Usually people have these in their houses and their leaves are a lot smaller, but this one is free to do whatever it wants to do. And there's
Is that part of it right there?
Yeah. There's a golden pothos right there. Once it actually latches onto something, there's another endo plant commonly. Once it latches onto something, it releases hormones that make its leaves get really huge. And soon, oh, see, there's a huge one back there.
Oh, yeah. That too?
Yep.
Looks like banana leaf though.
Yep, that's it.
Whoa.
This is a Staghorn Fern. It is, I believe it's an epiphyte.
Look at the belly.
Yeah.
I don't know what to call it.
I don't know what it's called either.
Cute. Oh, it's so pretty. Ah.
Okay. So this is a noni. I believe it's native to Hawaii. And see, here's the fruit. These ones are a little strange looking. Usually the whole thing is more like this. And it's also known as the vomit fruit and the famine fruit. So it tastes like vomit, at least it's said to taste like vomit and like cheese and feet. It's supposed to be disgusting, but it's super nutritious for you. And the reason it's called the famine fruit is because in Hawaii or in some other islands, when there was a famine and all the other fruits and vegetables died, this is all they had to eat. So it's really unfortunate that they just had to eat vomit fruit, but it kept them alive.
It's like there's some flowers.
There's a brook. This is like a little bromeliad garden. It looks really nice. Tons of different varieties and colors.
Those are really cool.
All throughout there. Those ones are flowering over there. It's pretty intense fluorescent purple color.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a coconut.
A what?
A coconut right
That's
there.
a coconut?
Yep. As you can see, here's a rack of bananas. This is a banana flower. You can actually eat these. These are the young bananas. When the banana flower is more young, it's usually a lot bigger. And you can peel back the petals and eat these. It takes a few more steps, but it's pretty good.
Your grandma made banana flower, what? Just banana flower?
Banana flower salad. And so with this banana, as you can see, it starts at the base and it goes really tall. You can see it starts at the base and goes really tall. And there's another smaller one right there. So what a banana will do is it will grow from the ground up, and then it will have fruit. And at that point it won't have any more fruit, so you have to cut it down to the ground. But another one will come into its place and also give you fruit. And so you get a constant flow of fruit all throughout the year. this right here.
It's huge.
This right here is a heliconia. So, you know, bird of paradise, it's in that family. And you can actually see it's got some hanging flowers over there, the red ones.
Oh yeah.
This is a cycad, so it's one of the oldest plants in the world. Said to be, it was here during the dinosaur ages. And so it's really interesting to see all the structures and different ways that plants reacted to their different environments so long ago.
Look at the flowers. They look like...
I would call them flowers, but they're not technically flowers because I believe this was before flowers were a thing.
Oh.
It's something else. Not sure if I'm 100% right on that one, but I believe. Once again, not 100% sure, but I believe this is a bamboo orchid. I know it's some kind of orchid.
Yeah, these look like bamboo. Kinda.
There's tons of them.
That is a Christmas tree. As you can see, it has branches for hanging ornaments. And sometimes in the ornaments you can see yourself. You guys. And they really did a nice job connecting the winter with the autumn. As you can see, it has this beautiful fake leaf. Actually, it might be a real leaf. Garland. I think it's real.
It's real.
It starts from yellow,
Painted.
goes to orange, and then red. Ooh, look.
That is a ginkgo leaf.
Yeah, I love me some ginkgo. What's that?
Well, it says the tag, but there's
Oh.
the cacao.
Oh.
And you can actually see the cacao pods back there at the top.
Okay.
They're a little,
Oh yeah.
they're old. Clearly were not taken to be eaten.
We tried some from Miami Fruit.
Yep.
They were good. I liked them.
Yep. There's another common houseplant. It's a fiddly fig.
Oh my gosh, it's huge.
It's pretty large, but they just seem to have cut it a lot.
Let's go look at it from the top.
Fiddly fig.
Yeah. Yeah, they did cut it.
Okay. This is an ant fern. It has a symbiosis with ants. So ants will live inside of the whatever that's called. And they protect it from predators. And it provides them a home.
Those are called cankles.
Cankles?
I'm just kidding. I don't know. What are all those little boogers on the end? Are
those are the what are they called?
Spores?
Spores, yeah. All over the bottom. You can see they're brown. Right.
What?
So there you can see some Spanish moss. It's a type of tillandsia. So it's an air plant. And if you live along the east coast in the south, so I'd say from South Carolina down, you probably have seen this all over the place. It grows on all of the trees. It's just so nice.
Valen has some.
Yes, I do.
What's this one right here?
I don't know. It probably says.
Oh, no.
It does not.
That's this.
Yeah, that's the
I didn't realize that the Tradescantia is... This is Tradescantia?
Yeah.
That it's spiderwort
Yeah, it is.
family.
You can kind of tell with the flowers.
The wandering dude.
Yep. The flowers look the
Wait.
same as the spiderworts.
What's this? Looks like an oak. Is it... not poisonous oak. They probably wouldn't have them here.
Oh, no. I don't know anything about this one. Well, I can't really say anything,
Oh.
but a zombie palm. You could see all the spikes all over the bark.
Whoa, those are huge. This is kind of where the corpse flower was
Oh,
when we got to be on the news. It's somewhere over there
let's see. I don't see it. Was it in the ground or was it in a pot?
in the ground. Let's go see if we
it's in
can
the
find
ground,
it.
then we should be able to find it. There are 3 pineapples right here. So, no pineapples do not go on trees.
Oops.
So, called a sausage tree. It's kind of a funny name. And I don't see any right now, but off of these low-hanging branches, there's these long sausages that hang off.
Yeah.
It's pretty strange.
I remember seeing them. They're really cool. It's a very mature specimen. I love the moss on all the rocks.
Oh, there's one. That's
Oh,
a
yeah.
sausage right there.
There's a sausage. It's a woody sausage.
Here's a pretty grand bromeliad flower. It's the flower of the imperial bromeliad. And it doesn't have any color right now, it finished. But you can see all the seed pods all over it.
Yeah, it kind of looks like a pineapple or like a.
That's because a pineapple is a bromeliad.
Oh, what? Oh, zooming in doesn't make it look better.
So this right here is the miracle fruit, or miracle plant.
A miracle plant?
There's one right there, a little red berry. Now the most amazing thing happens when you eat this fruit. The fruit isn't very special to eat by itself, but once you eat it and you wait a little bit, you can eat anything that's sour and you will not taste any sour at all.
Oh.
So you can eat it and eat a lemon and it will just taste like sweet lemonade. And so a lot of people that have diseases will take these sort of pills that have what it has in it, and that will make it so that they can eat their disgusting food without being too disgusted because it makes everything sweeter.
Whoa. Okay, let's try to say it. Syncypalum dulcificum. It makes it sweet. Sweet faker. I don't know if that's real, but seems like it. I think the corpse flower was like right here somewhere.
So this is one of my favorite trees right here on Earth. It's called the Jaboticaba,
Oh.
or Jaboticaba, however you want to say it. So as you can see, the bark is peeling a little bit, and it does that regularly, but that's not the most amazing thing about this. I'm actually not sure what season it does it, but during one of the seasons, you'll see it's the actual wood itself, not on the branches. The wood itself will have a bunch of flowers all over it. And then once they get pollinated, the whole thing will be covered in fruit, which are edible. It's also known as the Brazilian grape. And they are said...
Jaboticaba. Is it from Djibouti?
No.
Spelled differently.
And they're edible. They're said to taste like grapes, but they're a lot bigger. The only reason you don't see them in the store all the time is because they have a really short shelf life. What's the name of it? I was talking about it just yesterday.
It's tall. The tall moss. Oh, it's so pretty.
Slaginella, that's what it is. There's a better example right here. Slaginella, another very, very ancient plant. It has very ancient growing structures. A lot of our houseplants, actually, I would say probably all of our houseplants are tropical plants, so there's a lot of recognizable things in here. Here we've got dumb cane. It's called that because people would eat it and it's poisonous, and it would make it so that their mouths were all swollen so they couldn't say anything, so they would call people dumb, and that's why it's called that. Here's a Dracaena.
Ah, yes. ever seen that.
And another very common one that you will see is begonias. Now there's tons and tons of different kinds of begonias. This is a favorite among houseplant growers, the
Yeah.
escargot.
So
What
fuzzy.
many people don't seem to know is that there's tons of different forms. This is also a type of begonia, right here. You can see the flowers. The flowers on most begonias tend to be very similar. Here's another one. Here's another different type of begonia. And another one right down here. And here is a really fun, interesting type of tropical fern called the crocodile fern. And you can see why it's called that. It seems to have scales on it.
So
They sort of look like begonias, but they're ferns. Sorry, not begonias. Bromeliads.
it's really shiny. Definitely
Yeah.
looks like crocodile skin.
So this looks like a sago palm. I could be wrong because there's so many different plants that look like this, but it is also one of the cycads, like from the ones that are back there. So it's a very ancient tree. It's not actually a palm, but since it sort of looks like a palm tree, they call them sago palms.
Bobby, or my grandma, she has one of these in her front yard. Very spiky.
And this, everyone's favorite berry, though most people probably don't eat them as berries, coffee.
Oh.
And once again, I'm not exactly sure what season, but during one of the seasons, you'll see that all along the stem right here, there'll be tons of red fruits, little red berries, and those are the coffee beans.
Ooh, look at this.
Yeah,
That's cool.
I don't know much about this family.
What is it? At all? You know anything?
Acacia.
Oh. Cactus circus. You know what that is?
It kind of looks like a different form of bromeliad almost, like a very rare form, but I don't know. I can't say for sure.
That.
It's not bromeliad.
Look at the lush moss. Is that moss?
No, that's the Flagelella.
I thought the Flagelella was moss.
It's not technically moss.
And then this is more begonia, right?
Begonia.
Oh, that's a begonia?
I believe so.
I can see why it's called a single flower.
Well, this, I don't know too much about these, but I do know about these ones right here. These are two different things, and you almost can't even see it on the tree. Here it is. And it's actually a type of Hoya. So another one of the common houseplants, but a very different form. You can see how it suction cups onto the tree.
That is so cool. What kind of tree is that? It's beautiful. It looks like an acacia of some sort.
There we go.
Oh, it's over here. No, it doesn't.
So this is a banyan tree?
A what tree?
A banyan tree.
Onion. Oh, here's that.
These grow pretty prolifically all over southern Florida. Very, very southern Florida. And what's really amazing about these trees is they have their original trunk, but then they send down these, I'm not exactly sure, I guess roots, as you can see right here.
Aerial roots.
Yep. And once they connect into the ground, they actually become a full-on trunk.
Oh.
So you can see they're very sturdy. and the tree will just crawl across the floor and just be this massive thing. It's amazing.
Wow.
It is actually a type of ficus. So it's related to figs and fiddle leaf figs and all these things.
That's the leaf. Kind of
Rubber
looks.
trees as well.
There it is. I don't know what it's called, but it has. I mean, they look like just like crab apples or berries.
Sort of. It's the fruit of the palm tree. This specific type of palm tree.
The leaves are awesome.
Yeah. Some sort of fan palm.
There's the name right here. Liquala.
So here it is. This is the corpse flower in Omalpophalis.
Oh.
Difficult word to say. There you go. You can see Omalpophalis. And this specific one is one of the biggest flowers, though technically it's a grouping of thousands of flowers. And so what's really interesting about it is it will send out this flower, but before that it needs to get energy from somewhere. So it'll send out what looks like one tree with like 3 separate parts and a bunch of leaves on it, but it's actually just one gigantic leaf. And it will collect its energy for years and years, and then the whole thing will die to the ground and this huge flower will come up. And it smells like a rotting corpse because what it uses to pollinate it is flies. So it'll send out a bunch of flies that'll come and pollinate it. It's kind of gross, but it's interesting. And it actually has male and female flowers on it, so it can pollinate itself, but not at the same time. So pretty sad. But what's interesting about it is that there's also more hardy types. So we live in a zone 6, and you can actually get smaller versions, but still very interesting looking versions that grow in our zone. So you can have a corpse-smelling garden no matter where you are.
No, thank you. Look at what I just found. Henna! Lawsonia enormis. This is what helps me keep my hair from being gray. Here, let's look at what it looks like now. If I remove my cap, I'm graying. But this is all henna, and that's the leaf. What do they dry it and then they crush it?
I believe so.
I don't know anything about it except that I use it from my hair.
Oh, they had this tree in Florida, the Botanical Gardens, but I forgot the name of it. It's cool because the new leaves, so it's got these really nice lime green leaves, but when the new ones come out, they'll hang downwards, and they're this pink color. You can kind of see some pink over there. And eventually they'll kind of lift up and keep growing. Very cool looking tree. Wow. That right there is probably the biggest cycad I've ever seen, with a huge fern attached to it. Oh wait, no. That's actually more cycad. I'm not sure what this thing is doing. It's kind of growing all over the place.
Those look like pine cones.
Yep, those are the dead flowers.
Is this an orchid?
That's a vanilla.
This?
Yep.
That whole thing?
Yep. Oh no, not this. The vine. You can actually see there's a tag right here. It is a type of orchid.
I was right. Only because it looks like orchid. Like,
yep.
Oops, sorry. It literally,
You
I
can
just
see
said
it going
sorry
all
to
the way
the
up
plant.
there. So it'll have these really nice white flowers, which will eventually die and they'll leave a pod, which once it almost starts fermenting, you can cut it off and use it as vanilla.
And it's a vine.
This is an Antherium, another very common house plant. And this is the specific very common species that you will find in people's houses. But if we look around us, we'll probably find some very different forms that are much more rare. Especially because the Antherium family is such a huge family of plants. plant. So this is one of the most magnificent flowers in the tropical rainforest. It's called the Metanilla, and I don't know, it's just so impressive. It sends out these huge racks of flowers. Only one of them is open right now, but all of these will soon open. And then once those flowers are done, they'll eventually give way to these magenta berries. And I mean, you can see my hand compared to it. It's a pretty massive thing. And above us, you can see papayas. There's tons of little papayas on them, right there.
Papaya leaf is a really cool shape.
So this is a silk floss tree. It's one of the biggest trees in the rainforest. As you can see, the wood is green, which stays for its entire life. As it gets bigger, even the really thick wood will be green. And it's got these massive spikes on it. But that's not all this tree has to offer. There's so much more. So it'll actually, in the winter, or in the fall, actually a lot of seasons, the entire top of the tree will be covered in these very nice looking pink flowers. And it's a beautiful sight to behold. And then after that, there'll be these huge, almost avocado looking pods that hang off of the tree. And then eventually those things will burst open, and those like huge cotton balls that come out of them that fly away. It's such an amazing tree.
It reminds me of something. The shape of the leaf reminds me of like a money tree.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Which there actually is right there.
Oh.
It's also called the water chestnut. And right here, we have a fishtail palm. This one, as you can see, has tons and tons of, a bunch of different plants. Though there's probably just one with a bunch of their children coming off of it. But what's cool about this palm tree is that it will almost form like a conical shape to it. It's very interesting. You might want to look it up and you can find them. Very strange.
Is that a baby right there?
It shouldn't be. Usually the babies come out of the ground. But yeah, I'm not sure what this is. It might be a flower.
Oh.
Oh yeah, it is a flower. As you can see right here.
Oh.
These usually have such massive tops to them. These ones are cut and they're small, so we don't have them yet.
There's a lot of these in California.
Yes, there is.
Wow. So cool. It's like fantasy seaweed or something.
These seed pods, or not seed pods, seed racks, I guess, get very, very long and massive as the tree gets bigger. Pretty intense.
Here's one that's just kind of starting.
Here's a young one opening. You can see the sheath burst open, and now all of them are coming out. So this is cinnamon. So this is the stuff that you eat. Well, I wouldn't say eat. It's a spice. And so what they'll do is they'll come to the bark. Not this one because it's a little too young. But they'll come to the bark and they'll strip it off. And that's what you can put into drinks and boil and you get that cinnamon flavor. Cinnabuns, yeah. Oh, and I forgot to mention this earlier when I was talking about the bromeliads, but this is how they collect their water. Since they're epiphytic mostly, though this one clearly isn't, because epiphyte means it grows on a tree. This one's growing in the ground, but the way that they collect their water is not through the ground. It's through rain that lands on their leaves, and it goes down into their center, and they collect it down in there. You can see these ones down here are also filled with water. This one's also filled with water, but it seems like there's going to be a flower popping out of it soon. You can see it.
Oh.
So this massive one right here is a type of ginger. There's these amazing ginger varieties which I don't see around here. Here, there's a flower back here. Right there. The red one.
Okay. Wait, let's get closer to it. It looks more like fuchsia in person.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this leaf! How cute!
Now what's amazing about gingers is that there's so many different varieties. There's these ones that twist around, and there's more taller ones, more curly leaf ones. But what's the most amazing about them is their different forms of flowers. So there's the common one, like this one, where the flower comes out the end of the leaf. And then there's other ones where the flower will come out the bottom. Now this one doesn't have it, but you'll see these almost like roses at the bottom. That's one form, and there's another one that looks more like pine cones that are coming out the ground. It's just amazing.
Here's some that are kind of spent, but look how crazy that is. How there's like, it's growing. The leaves are growing out of.
So this is one of the more epic plants. It's a carnivorous pitcher plant right here.
There it is.
This one's connected to here. Not sure of the exact name, but here it is. So a bug will come to it thinking that it's a flower or it smells something sweet on it or one of those different things. And it'll go onto this lip and it'll slip in, and there's a pool of acid inside.
You can see
You
it.
can kind of see in there. There might be some dead bug matter in there. And then just eats it up and uses that as energy to grow.
Oh, cool.
Oh, there's
Is this is part of it, right?
No, this is the begonia right here.
Oh,
Or right here.
yeah.
Or what is this?
The leaf is so cool, the shape of it.
Monolenta.
It reminds
Monolena.
me of that crocodile one.
Interesting. I've never heard of this.
Monolena. Ooh, that's a pretty name. Ooh, look at the
You
huge.
can see some bigger ones back there, yeah.
And it's cool because it has these interesting tendrils at the end of
Yep.
the leaves.
I have this growing at my house, and it grabs onto the branches and pulls itself up through the tree.
Whoa.
And here is a family of plant that everyone loves in their house, but they're very hard to take care of if they're not in their ideal habitat. And they're the Calathea family.
Calathea.
So that there might be a wider term for them. So there's this one right here, and there's another one right over here. This is a more common one in homes, and the underside of the leaves is purple. Here's another one. And once again, the underside purple.
Bug.
That right over here is some sort, I believe it's an Australian fern tree, though it could be some other sort of fern tree.
I like it.
And they have these huge ferny leaves, and they grow super tall. And they are what the name says, they're a fern tree. So amazing. Big.
Hold on, let's look through the kaleidoscope.
Heavenly bamboo, date palm, woolly, either lily turf or mondo grass, oxalis, clover, fork oak, bird of paradise, papyrus, arsenias, sphagnum moss, pomegranate,
Aconocloa. I do recognize some things.
slaginella,
Slaginella.
a creeping ficus.
We're going into the desert.